Hey, Gluten Free Badass, how are you tonight? I'm really glad we're together. So we are so busy. We are busy doing the things that make us fabulous badasses, taking care of ourselves, supporting other people, making our unique impact in the world. And we need fuel. We need easy fuel. We need food that we can come home and be like, I had no time to stop at the grocery store. What am I going to eat? So tonight we are going to make a wonderfully seasonal dinner using apples since they are so abundant right now. And we are going to make a saged pork with apples and a maple mustard sauce with polenta, creamy polenta that is out of this world. And what's going to be great too is not only am I going to show you like the ideal way to make it, but also here are all the ways you could substitute, because maybe, like I said, you didn't have time to stop at the store and it can still taste delicious no matter what. All right, so you can make polenta in your Instapot, which is always easier, but you can also make it on the stove. So you're just going to stir it. Wear a hand like mitt when you're stirring it on the stove, because sometimes it can spit and get a little feisty. And so we're going to do it in the Instapot because you know I love the Instapot. All right, so we're going to start with gluten-free yellow cornmeal. Of course, you can use white or blue if you wish, but make sure that it's not been processed in a facility that has wheat. So we're going to put in our wonderful, yeah, please, Andrew, get a shot of that. Of course, we want wonderful salt, as if we were eating corn on the cob. We want our bay leaf, and we're going to add a couple of fun things. So you can use chicken stock. That can be really good. I have water on hand, so I'm going to put in water. Also, because we want that creaminess, we don't want everything all like clumping up, making this, gross little balls of corn mush. We want olive oil. So we're putting in a bunch of that. And what I like to do is sun-dried tomatoes taste awesome too. You don't have it, that's great. You want to throw in regular tomatoes? Put that in too. All right, so we're just going to stir that wonderful mixture up, and it is going to be delicious. All right, let's get our top on it. All right, so what's going on with you this week? How is your week going? And have you been apple picking yet? Fun little fact about apples, it is one of the only fruits in the United States, all right, hold on one second, that's grown in every state. I had no idea until I saw that. Okay, there we go. Just need to get the regular. Okay, so we're gonna put it on pressure cook. Yep, we're gonna do it for 15 minutes, and we're gonna let that puppy sit and cook and be no work to us at all. All right, let's talk about our pork. Let's get our pork going. I have pork tenderloin. If you have pork chops, use those. That's fine too. And the key thing we're gonna do is we are going to salt them, we're gonna sage them, and then we're gonna sear them. It is our S evening. All right, so the key thing is, I'm just gonna take these little pork slices out here. I'm gonna put salt on both sides. All right, what do you think is the most eaten fruit, most popular fruit in the United States? It used to be apples. It is not anymore. What has overtaken it? I look forward to hearing your guess, and then we'll reveal at the end. All right, so we've got our salt. Now we're gonna take our sage. We want rubbed sage. So here, take a look at what that looks like and all of its green goodness. Oh, that smells good. It smells homey and it smells delicious. And we're gonna sprinkle it all over the top. And again, just like with the salt, we're gonna do both sides. And once we put it on, we're actually gonna spread it around a little bit, because you can see it could just come off if you didn't do that. So we're gonna put that on and turn that over. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's put a little bit more on now. And we will continue to do this. What sort of dishes do you make? Whether like savory dinner dishes or lunch, do you make with apples? If you share it, maybe we could make it sometime on the show, because we love to make the things that you make. All right, I'm gonna wipe my hands. And we are going to come over here to the stove. All right, we've been preheating this pan. It's starting to get really nice and warm. And we'll put in a little olive oil, but you could use canola oil or vegetable oil, whatever works for you. And we want that, I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit. And we are gonna spread that around our pan. Oh, it's starting to get warm. And I'm gonna get our pork. Oh, you know what, while that heats up, I almost forgot about this. We have to make our maple mustard sauce. So we're gonna start with maple syrup. We are going to put in mustard. The most ideal would be to have like stone ground mustard, but we don't always have that sitting around the house, so we're just gonna do some Dijon. You could actually use yellow hot dog mustard as well. We are going to put in apple cider vinegar. But again, if you don't have that, white vinegar, rice vinegar. I wouldn't do dark balsamic vinegar, but I certainly would do white balsamic vinegar, and that'll be wonderful. We're just gonna stir this up, and we're gonna keep it to the side because we're gonna need it in a little bit. All right, let's look. Ooh, 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 our pan is getting hot. This is beautiful. All right, so here's the key thing. We just need to sear it for like a minute on each side. Easy is good. All right, I'm gonna put those in. Can you hear all that beautiful sizzle? Pork is cooking wonderfully. And, all right. So while that cooks on one side for the moment, and I'm actually just gonna watch the time to make sure I really only do it for about a minute, let's talk about apples some more. Apples. This is actually a Fuji apple, and I picked this on purpose. You can pick any apple that you like to put in here. You know, your Macintosh, your Cortland, whatever you would like. But I picked this because actually this can be traced, this kind of apple can be traced back to Thomas Jefferson. And I am a history geek, and I love that this guy not only, was a foodie, but he loved apples. So this ambassador from France, Edmond Charles Genet, came over to bring him, I don't know, all sorts of diplomatic things, but also brought him some apple cuttings so that he could start growing them at Monticello. Well, he ended up donating, not only would he grow them, but he actually ended up donating them to a special horticultural society. And you know what they called it? Thomas Jefferson ended up calling the apples that he would grow in Virginia Rawls Genet, as in, Edmond Charles Genet. And I was thinking to myself, I bet he and Edmund were drunk when they figured out that, when they came up with that name. Can't you imagine them? What should we call these apples here in the New World? Should we call them, ooh, look at this. Look at how beautiful and brown that is. And it's been just a minute. We are turning these over. And, ooh, look at that. And we're just gonna cook them again on the minute on the other side for a second, or just for a minute. So again, what are they calling these new apples that they brought over from France? Are they gonna call them Ed Chucks? Are they gonna call them Eddie Charlies? But I just love that they came up with Rawls Genet. So anyway, I'm gonna go get, we are gonna put, actually we need a clean plate, don't we? Not in a bowl. If you can smell this, the pork, like the caramelization on the pork is just so aromatic. All right, so let's look. Yep. See how nice and brown they are on the other side? How fabulously easy that was. We're gonna put those in here because we want those wonderful juices to stay in here. Now, really, even though they are thinly sliced, the pork is not cooked through all the way, and that is all right. We don't need it to be yet, because it's gonna do a little more cooking in a bit. So as we talked about before, one of the best ways to make your meals at home taste like restaurant quality is instead of onions, use leeks. Now, again, another one of these substitutes. If you don't have leeks, that's fine. Use an onion. Any color will work. White, yellow, red. All right, so we're kind of laying this up because what I want to do is get those nice brown bits from the bottom so that we can keep all that wonderful goodness. So I'm just stirring this around. But the key thing is we're gonna add some white wine. We are using a Sauvignon Blanc, which is always good. You could use a Pinot Grigio, you could use a Chardonnay, whatever you have on hand. And be sure, ooh, look at that. Look at that. All right, so now you can really see everything's up from the bottom, exactly the way it should be. And we've got a nice simmer going. So now it's time to add our wonderful sauce. Catherine, I'm going to ask you, can you refresh? Nothing's popping up, if you wouldn't mind. But I feel like we've had some feedback, and we definitely want to converse. So anyway, we're going back to here. So now we have our wonderful sauce that is both sweet and tart in it, and the wine really rounds out that flavor so nicely. And again, we're starting to simmer this. All right, now here's the dealio. We want to get this pork cooked a little bit more. We want to get those apples nice and softened. All right, so we're going to put our pork back in. Andrew, how good does that smell?
It smells really good.
Well, that's good because it's dinner tonight. Oh, you see those wonderful juices? We're going to put those back in. We do not want to lose those. So we have our wonderful pork here cooking. Now we're just going to put our apples in. And we're going to kind of spread them out. I know. All right. Well, for all of you who are saying hello and commenting, the wonders of technology do not always work the way they should. And on the screen where I can read what people are saying, it's completely frozen. And I'm doing something like this. It's really super attractive right now. But nonetheless, I am glad we are together tonight. Okay, so we're just going to let this simmer. We're gonna put it just, kind of medium-low heat. Yeah, can you see it between the medium and the low? It's pretty good. And we're just gonna let that cook literally for about 5 minutes. I would say at some point you do want to kind of turn your apples over so that they get softened on both sides. Okay, perfect. Well, we're good then. We are good, no worries.
But it's still frozen.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe it's a theme with the new Frozen movie coming out. How excited are you about that? I am thoroughly excited. I thought that was a fantastic first movie, and I was 40-something when it came out, and I still loved singing Let It Go. I can't wait to hear what the new song is. Okay, so while that happily cooks for 5 minutes, and our polenta is cooking up as well, let's look what the finished product is gonna look like. Take a look at this. I put a few fresh herbs on the top here. By putting that extra olive oil in, the consistency really is just like as if you put cream in or you put some cheese in, but yet you don't have all that extra, all that extra calories or extra dairy if you're not into that. And if you don't have the fresh herbs, who cares? Throw in some dried herbs. Put on whatever you like. It will be perfect. I just keep eating this. Also, I ate some of this morning with eggs, and it was a wonderful way to start my day. Let's get some pork. Let me just push this down with some apple and some leeks and the delicious sauce on it. And let's see. Swear to you, you're gonna think you're eating at like a 4-star restaurant. And you will have made this in under 30 minutes in your own kitchen. The sage complements the pork and the apples perfectly. All right, badass. I wish you a wonderful week. I can't wait to see you next week. In November, the entire month is being devoted to Thanksgiving. We've had a good friend, one of our wonderful watchers, Jean from Racine, which I love that rhyme, has asked about pie crusts and about stuffing. Sometimes it gets too wet, sometimes it gets too dry. How do we strike that middle ground? We are going to tackle that and solve that problem. What other gluten-free Thanksgiving dishes do you want to see in the next couple of weeks? Meanwhile, be you and never, ever change that. Talk to you soon. Bye.